Okay. Okay. Good evening. The date is Wednesday, May 28th. It's 6:06 PM, and we are here for the work session of a combined council meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
Here.
Councilmember Coyle. Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel. Councilmember Batil.
Here.
Councilmember Pointer.
Present.
And Councilmember Schmel.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, could you read adequate notice?
Adequate notice of this meeting as required by the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975 has been provided by the annual notice sent to the Home News Tribune, Star Ledger, and Desi Talk on November 18th, 2024, and posted in Main Lobby Municipal Complex on that same date.
Okay, thank you very much. I don't really have anything prepared for Council President remarks. I wanted to just, again, thank this council for having unanimously passed the budget at our last meeting. That was truly an accomplishment, and I'm very, very grateful. We can now go to number 5 from the Department of Finance, A through K. Any questions or concerns? Okay. Moving along to 6 from the Department of Health, A. Seeing none. Number 7 from the Department of Recreation, A. All right. Number 8 from the Chief of Police, A and B. Okay. Number 9 from the Township Clerk, A through D. All right. Number 10, approval of minutes. What's that?
Yeah, now we're into
Okay. Oh my gosh. All right, boy, this is short. Okay. Approval of minutes. Can we get a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now we get to public comment on the resolutions only. And yes, Joyce.
Joyce Ship Freeman, Edison, New Jersey. Just like I said, everything is not negative. Some things are good, okay? On Resolution 232 for the Green Acres and the matching grant for the Angels Project for using that field, I think that's a great idea, and I hope that we don't put plastic there. I hope we keep the green there for our kids to be able to play in green stuff, so it won't come back 20 years from now.
Yeah.
This is what affected them.
Excuse me, one moment, Joyce. Your microphone is, yeah, we're having.
Hello?
Is that better? Okay, all right, go ahead.
Okay, Joyce Ship Freeman.
No, you don't have to start again.
I don't have to do
We're at
that again?
232.
We're coming at, okay, we're at 232? All right,
Yeah.
so that's about the Green Acres program, and I think that's a plus, and I like the fact that we got a matching grant for that, and I think that is a very positive thing for our children, because most of the time we're saying, oh, they're doing this, let's punish them more, let's punish them more. By us doing something positive and doing the correct things for our youth, starting at an early age, and having them to play on grass in real dirt like I used to play on rather than plastic stuff, because we'll come back 20 years from now and we'll be saying something about our kids' bones or something about all the plastic that we're using now. And the other thing I just want to question is on 231, the resolution calling for the restoration of energy taxes for municipalities. I was trying to read it back there, but I didn't take the Evelyn Wood reading class, so it took me a long time to read that before I come up here. So I just want to get a better understanding of it, because I was reading about that the state or somebody was in charge of it before, now they hand it back to municipalities. I don't have a clear understanding of it. So if you can give me a straight up brief version of that particular program, I would be happy. Thank you.
Okay. Sonia, let me turn that to you.
Sure. So essentially, the state was collecting from utilities the energy taxes, and they were supposed to redistribute that to municipalities, so we then could provide assistance to our residents, and they have not done that. And so much of our neighboring towns are requesting that come back to the towns, so we can redistribute and assist our residents with help with utilities.
Okay, very good. Good, okay, very good. Anyone else on the resolutions only? Okay, seeing none. Yes, motion to close?
Motion to close the public portion.
And second, thank you. All right. Going to number 12, proposed resolutions, anything to pull for a separate vote? Okay, wow. Whoa, all right. So, can I get a motion to approve the entire consent agenda, resolutions 226 through 269?
Motion to approve. Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Brusher.
Yes.
Councilmember Batil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Council President Harris.
Yes. Okay. All right, now we have oral petitions and remarks, and now the public can speak on anything for 4 minutes. So, oral petitions, anyone to speak from the public? Joyce?
Council President, while Councilwoman Joyce Freeman steps up for her comment, if you can explain the process to the new audience, that would be helpful. If they need to raise the hand or if they would like to speak.
Yes, yes. So during oral petitions and remarks, which is basically public speaking time, public has 4 minutes to be able to talk on any subject that they would like. And so all you need to do is come to the podium. You would state your name, address, or just your name and town, and you have 4 minutes to speak on anything you would like. Okay, thank you. All right. Joyce? Okay. Okay. All right, I think, okay. Let me, all right, so there's a lady in the back then, thank you.
Jeanette from Edison on
Thank
Old
you.
Post Road. I only come to a few meetings, not very many, and I try to watch them on TV. But what's the latest on the Tote Center? I mean, I do not see a single car or a single person ever working there. I go up and down that street at least once a day. And, you know, I mean, if it was my house and I had a contractor doing their work, they would not be at my house very much. Okay, that's my only question.
Okay, all right. Progress on the Toth Center.
We just received confirmation from DEP that we are cleared to resume construction, so we are beginning to take out the permits.
Okay.
So you will see more activity in that area.
Do we have a ballpark as to completion? I know so much depends on weather and things like that, but is there like a ballpark range?
So I will confirm that and provide that to you, being that we're going to, we're resubmitting all the paperwork and make for all of the construction permitting. And then, so with that, we'll know more or less the timeline.
Okay.
I think the original date may have been a year to 18 months. So again, everything got pushed back. So I'll get back to you on that.
All right, thank you. Okay. Anyone else want to comment on that from council? No? Okay. All right. Joyce?
Hey, Joyce Freeman. While at the parade yesterday at the Legion, not yesterday, on Saturday at the Legion Hall, you know, our parade was nice, but I think we can do better. Because it was like, you know, because when we announced, and we always talk about the parties that we have, a lot of people didn't even know the parade was happening that day. We could have had more bystanders and stuff, but they told me they didn't know. I also was told on that particular day also that there's 2 tons of potholes that nobody's taking care of. They also told me there's a lot of flooding, and there's especially some flooding behind Washington School. And, that gets to be, a major problem with the flooding on a lot of streets around here. I mean, I was even in floods on these days. So that's just only on a partially halfway days that it pours down off and on, point blank. And at the Board of Ed meeting, which I thought was like fabulous, the meeting, no, not so much as what they were saying, because I wasn't into that conversation too much, but the part that I liked, that they let the people speak for 6 minutes. They let them have a rebuttal. There was no clown show. There was nothing going on. It was like the best ever. It was very respectful. And like, they don't even get paid to listen to people. And they were there giving everybody respect. 6 minutes and a 3-minute rebuttal. I said, oh my God, this is what it's supposed to be about when you're involved in community government. Okay, and then they were discussing some of the unfinished projects. She got up and she talked about some of that, and the Jets field and different things that's going on that's half done. So, we're very upset behind that about the unfinished projects. And on Samuel Carpenter Boulevard, and it goes into Loud Place and stuff, me and one of the other members, I think it was Kenneth Schreck, we worked together along with the council, and we got a great ordinance on removing tractor trailers from the street. And for us moving tractor trailers from the street, now they've slid around to Loud Place. And I have a problem with tractor trailers and stuff blocking views, because I have this problem with child trafficking, human trafficking. I don't want any view to be not good enough, for our police and for our people to see. I don't want them to be blocked anywhere that it may save a child or may save somebody from being blocked. Now, I don't know who's being paid or whatever, but I don't think tractor trailers should be, if the signs is on this street, it also means Loud Place. You shouldn't have a big, gigantic tractor trailer somewhere where there's a bunch of apartments at. And also, everybody seems like they're so concerned about the north end of town, and everybody wants to give freezers and refrigerators. But hey, food has to go in it. It's a crying shame that it's been that long since there's been some place for somebody to have a grocery store. Some people walked up to me and said, you think they're gonna ever have a grocery store down here? Or I'm gonna have to call my grandson every time I need a loaf of bread, all right? So that's very, very, very sad. And I still never received the answers to, I was asking about the extra $100 that you would have to pay if you're a rental person. I never got a clear answer on that. Someone would like to know more about that. And as usual, I'm rushed. I'm even looking at the time, you can't even get all your information out because, you got to rush it all in a second before you can collect your thoughts. But as I said before, I've seen the American way. I've seen it at the Board of Ed meeting, and they're not even paid. So if anybody can give me some information, see, that's what I'm talking about, information on the $100 added fee to our...
Thank you, Joyce. So can you give any information updates on the $100? I'm sorry? The $100 with regard to the rental, this is the, sorry, you keep talking and I don't know what you're saying. Do you have any information to give?
No, I'm sorry, we don't have any update at this time. Matter's pending.
Okay, thank you. All right.
Council President,
Yes.
just to clarify that, I don't think we are enforcing that ordinance as we speak because the matter is under litigation.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else, public comment? Okay, motion to close public comment?
Motion to close.
Second?
Second.
Thank you. All right, from the council member to the planning board, council vice president? Nothing? Oh, I forgot who is.
Councilman Coyle.
Oh, okay. Councilman Coyle, you're here just in time to give a report about the planning board. I'm sorry, I forgot. right.
Sorry, Council President, I was stuck in rain traffic.
Okay.
I'm excited to report that the planning board, of course, can be viewed on our channel 7 days a week, or our website. You can see the live meeting. We did have a two-lot subdivision that was denied by the board, which was 2 undersized lots, which I was proud to see the board unanimously vote no for 1 building lot to become 2. On Oak Tree Road, there was a medical building that was suggesting to have a second floor built, and that was carried over for some additional documentation. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Reports from all council committees. Start with you, Councilman Brescher.
We had we didn't have a formal veterans meeting, but what we did was we met with the administration, myself and Sue, that we have to bring back to that committee. But the good news about that meeting was that it seems like the administration believes that that park needs a little bit more of an upgrade than what we were originally planning. So right now, currently, they're going to get some pricing on the rest of the items in the park, being that, they have some funds this year. And we're hoping to start some of the projects as we go, is what we talked about. So, from now, well, it might be a year in the whole planning for the whole thing, but over the course of a year, you'll see small improvements happening as we move forward. So it was a good meeting, I thought. I thought they had some good ideas that they brought up. I don't know if it was Sonia, Bob Deal, or Tony, or who came up with those ideas, but yeah, the ideas were very well taken. So I'd like to thank you for that.
Great to hear. Thank you. Any other committees?
That would be it.
Okay, all right. Councilman Quell?
Thank you, Council President. As all of you know, our Finance Committee met last month. We gave a report, and this board unanimously voted in favor of the budget, 7-0, which I'm truly proud of. I thank the administration for their hard work, and Kendra Roberts and this entire committee for council for looking through the budget. I'm proud to say we have less than a 1% municipal tax, and looking forward to this year's new projects and continuing our programs and having 0 cuts on programs. DPW, we're going to schedule a meeting to see what's going on for the summer and fall and plan for the winter. Public safety, as you know, we met already and gave a report on that. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Councilman Patel?
None at this time. I just wanted to apologize for my tardiness. When it rains, people forget how to drive. I'm sorry.
Understand. Thank you. Councilman Patil?
None at this time.
Okay. Council Vice President?
None at this time.
Okay. I don't have any specific report, just an update that the Jazz Festival, we've now finally settled on a date. It's going to be August 1st, Friday, August 1st. It will be held at Paternity Park. And I think we were talking about, I believe it's 5:30. It's 5:30 to 8 or 5 to 8:30. I can't remember. More information will be forthcoming, but we are now definite on this date. It's the Department of Recreation and the Cultural Arts Commission are working hand in hand with this, and it looks like it's going to be a really nice partnership. So August 1st, that's a Friday. More details to come. Okay, we move to points of light. Anybody?
Council President?
Yes.
I attended the memorial for the firefighters, and it was a beautiful ceremony, beautiful weather, and it's always good to remember our firefighters and anyone that's died in the line of duty, anyone that served the community, and it's always good to remember and appreciate those who have helped us make this town safe. Thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
Council President? I know myself and you attended the Edison bike tour, Edison Metuchen bike tour. It was a beautiful day, a great ride. Unfortunately, I had to cut out a little on the earlier side, but the weather held out and everything seemed to run smoothly. The Memorial Day Parade, I thought was a great event. Again, nice weather that allowed for the community to come together. I hope everyone had a safe and healthy Memorial Day. And then upcoming this Friday, which I believe you'll probably mention, we have the torch run for the police department and the Pride Festival, which is on
Saturday. Yeah.
at 3:45. Thank you, Council President.
All right. For myself, actually, we have some pride that we can take in the fact that that firefighters Matthew Martin, Brian Kilijansky, and Matthew Rivoli who had worked together to rescue and remove the two most seriously injured residents in that terrible fire that took place in the Edison Senior Housing Complex on Inman and Grove. They are being honored. Chief Toth, you would have the information on that. When is that ceremony?
I believe it's Thursday night at the Carteret Performing Arts Center, and tomorrow's Thursday. I'm lost here. You had 3 members. Did you have Kilijansky, Brian Kilijansky?
Yes.
Martin, Riverly.
I have.
There's 4.
What was named here were Jeffrey
Klitsch,
Klitsch.
that's it, Jeff
That's
Klitsch.
I did not name him. Let me say again: Jeffrey Klitsch, Matthew Martin, Brian Kilijansky, and Matthew Rivoli.
So that goes back to 1061 Inman Avenue on that fire where
Yes.
there was a fatality, but they also were able to save that one woman, and she's home now recuperating
Yes.
with her family. So we're very proud of them.
Absolutely, we owe them a debt of gratitude.
I'll be there tomorrow night. I'm sure pictures will be posted. I
Great.
think there's police officers being honored too. I'm not sure.
I think
For
that's.
the drowning victim,
Oh yes, that
think
was
there's another one.
Justin. Justin Moss and Julia,
so
right?
the 2 of them, yes,
Yeah.
for somebody out of the Raritan River.
Yes.
So we're proud of all the first responders.
We are indeed proud of our first responders. We've got a great team here. In addition, I wanted to share that Friday, May 31st, there is what's known as the Black Poster Project that's being held at Herbert Hoover. This is a drug suicide awareness program. Parents and their kids would be welcome to attend between 3 p.m. and 5:30 p.m. on Friday the 31st. Also on, that's Friday, is that Friday the 30th? Or, that's Friday the 30th, I'm sorry, my apologies, Friday the 30th. Also, we have I believe it's also the 30th, is the Guns and Hoses basketball game. This is the fire and police basketball tournament. It's being held at St. Matthew's, and I've already forgotten what time. What time did you tell me again? Thank you. 6 p.m. for the first tip-off, $5 at the door. On Saturday, May 31st, is the Pride Festival. That's going to be held at the old Stewart's Lot at 922 Amboy Avenue from 4 to 8 p.m. Friday, June 6th, as the Council Vice President said, June 6th is going to be the law enforcement torch run for the Special Olympics. Is this 12 o'clock or 12:30? So you know if that's supposed to, I think it's 12:30.
12:30.
I believe it's 12:30, and so that will be here at the safety building. Early voting begins at Mini Beeville starting June 3rd through June 8th. Election Day is June 10th. I think I've covered all of those items. And yes, I was very happy to be riding along with Council Vice President. It was a beautiful day. It was a very windy day. I have to say I was helped by my new e-bike, which was really a blessing. Between hills and wind, it made the ride a lot easier to do. But that's always a great event, and I offer a lot of praise to the coordination. It's just beautifully choreographed between the police departments of Edison, Metuchen, and the recreation departments of Edison and Metuchen. They do such a great job getting from one spot to the other to block traffic and make it safe for us to ride. So look forward to continuing to do that every year. We move on to discussion items.
Council President.
I'm sorry?
Council President, could I add to?
Oh, yes.
I just wanted to, for those who don't know, May is Mental Health Awareness Month and also Opioid Awareness Month. If you have someone in your family who's suffering from mental health, certainly you can reach out. Our opioid person here, a coordinator, is Holly Honorado. Keep in mind, this council and administration received about $1.5 million in grant opportunities. And if there's someone listening tonight or in the audience that has an idea to put together an event, the grant is specific on what you can spend it on. If you need that information, the clerk can provide that for you, or you certainly can reach out to me by email, and I can also provide it for you. I am proud to say the great work this town has done in opioids. The Lenke administration hired Holly as a part-timer, and she is full-time underneath the Joshi administration, and I think she's doing a wonderful job. And for those who have an issue or helping someone with an issue, family, brother, sister, parent, or child, I know what you're going through. I don't know every day what you're going through, but I certainly feel your pain, and it's not the end. Hope is around the corner, and we certainly are here to help. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Okay, on to discussion items. We'll start with you, Councilman Brescher.
Question. I've been talking about, I guess, the road repairs around the town, right? And it was a little bit more than just the potholes that Joyce brought up. Predominantly, it looks like Comcast has opened up all our streets. I was under the impression that we're going to go back, make sure that they're repaired properly and sealed properly. But the residents, I've heard, like not heard, I read online, that they're saying that per our ordinance, they're going to repave the entire streets. So I'd like to get from the administration or from legal, what exactly is going to be done with these openings that are, there's thousands of them through the town. They're like on every road. And maybe they're 10 inches or 12 inches by 6 foot, and they might be every 100 feet or 200 feet where they would cross the road.
Councilman Brescia, you did bring this to our attention, so I appreciate that. And we did meet with Comcast and the administration and our township engineer last week. So we are working through those, through all of those that you mentioned, including some more wherever they've been making adjustments. I know we've gotten complaints about even repairs to, some of the grass, and that's not been fully restored. So we have a punch list for them. We've continued to provide that to them, but we did meet with them last week to go over those road issues.
Well, I guess the residents we have some residents that are saying that it was going to be patched. I believe Brian was saying we're going to patch them properly. But we have other residents that are under the impression that because we passed that ordinance that said if the road was a newly paved road within 5 years, they'd be required to pave the entire road.
I think to your point, there is a moratorium, so I'll check with legal to see what the amount of years.
No, well, okay, but let's say that the road is 2 years and they opened it up every 100 feet for these strips. Are they going to be required to then pave that whole road?
That may be the situation, but I will check to see exactly what the timeline looks like for those individual roads.
Okay, could you get back to me like tomorrow? Because I want to put this out to the residents because they're all kind of confused on that.
Sure.
All right. The other question is, and this goes back to like the whole police going to Chicago thing, where it's taxpayer money that's being spent. My question is, we have a political event here on, I believe, Sunday, where we have a gubernatorial candidate that's coming to a park. Number one, are they paying for the rental of that park, or is that going to be asked to be waived?
My understanding, there's a permit out there. They applied for a permit.
Okay.
So they have to go through the regular process like everyone else.
Right, that's what I'm asking. Can I see a copy of that application too, for tomorrow, if you can get it to me? And the other thing is, will we have a police presence there at the rally? And if so, who pays for that? Is that the taxpayers, or would that be her campaign?
I don't know if it is required or not. I'd have to look at the application to see if it's being requested, or rather if there is an expectation of a certain amount of people. I'm sure our police would be inclined to cover. Usually it is the organizer who should absorb the costs of police personnel, if that were the case.
Right, that was kind of my point. Or, I mean, you could do it, one of two ways. You can always waive fees and then allow everybody, including Republican candidates, to come and use our, facilities. But yes, I just want to make sure that we have no cost borne on our taxpayers. That would be it, Council President.
Thank you very much. Councilman Coyle?
Thank you, Council President. Thank you, Councilman Prescher, for being short. So I can fit in my time. Council President, I just wanted to ask, I'm going to go right to economic development. To the administration, any luck on a search for our economic development hire?
I have actually taken in a couple of resumes, so we're in the midst of reviewing those resumes. We were looking specifically for anyone that had prior economic development experience, so we were lucky to find these 2 resumes, and we're going through that with the administration team.
Yeah. I can understand it does take a long time to find the right person at the budget we have. It's challenging to fulfill this obligation in the 10 parts of what they have to bring to the table. So again, I believe I am open, and the council members would have to be asked, but I'm certainly open to a consultant or having any that split up between different consultants, because I did mention marketing for the town, and this council, I think, is also certainly considerate of that too, and the importance of marketing Edison. So I hope that if we're not going to hire someone, we consider having separate consultants for that. I never like to see an opportunity go to another town. I think we are surrounded by some wonderful towns, but Edison has so much more than any town around us. We're in a county with 750,000 people. We're at the crossroads of major highways, an industrial center, a convention center. And I know we have a better opportunity for them to, when they're looking for a site location, to select Edison is definitely a better choice. So I hope we can certainly put money behind marketing, money behind this economic development coordinator or consultants that would break up this opportunity. The township hasn't had an economic development person, I think, since the Choi administration. And not that they did it right either. But I've said it once and I'll say it again, how important it is to market Edison and fulfill opportunities. When we look at tax revenues, vacant stores do not cut it. And certainly what grocery stores we've had, and one that left, and two that left, and one I believe is being filled on Inman Avenue. We still have the Stop and Shop, which I don't think anybody here has heard who's going into that location. But I certainly would prefer to see it a grocery store over a Dollar Tree, or it becomes some other technical use for that space. The grocery store is important to the community, and in that area, there's not one available for that economic stretch. So I look forward to seeing what marketing plan we do have coming to the future. And again, I'll probably ask each month at every council meeting to see what updates we have. Affordable housing, through the council president and administration, how are we doing with affordable housing? How are we tracking with, and what is our plan?
Do you understand the question?
No.
Yeah,
Okay,
can you elaborate
affordable
on that?
housing, we have to reach a certain amount of units mandated by the courts. I don't have to have this report today, but can we have a follow-up discussion on where we are tracking with the number of units we have to build and what plan is in place?
Councilman, if I could just say that our obligation is not to build affordable units, is to zone and plan appropriately to allow for specific developers to build affordable units. So we have no mandate, we just have to make it available. So whether or not that gets done is a different question. But we have consistently met our obligation to zone appropriately for affordable housing in compliance with prior court cases. Thank you.
Okay, great. I still want to see a report of what our plan is and how we'll reach the amount of units we need to get to. I know we're not building anything, but
No, but I think what you're referring to is, and this is again, something that we can't necessarily discuss out publicly because we're still working on the analysis of how many units, rather, the state said, hey, you're supposed to build this amount, but in reality, in part because of our zoning, it's not necessarily that number. So we're in the midst of trying to figure that out and put that agreement before fair share housing. So to your point, that's something that we can certainly, if the council wishes to have a closed session at some point in the near future, we can certainly have that and then have our counselor provide that information.
Certainly.
I know I'm proud to say that the Edison Housing Authority has met part of our obligation through a meeting we had, which I'm happy to see something happening there. I just want to make sure we chart a course for, I don't want to be stepped over by a large development that's unnecessary to the community when we can properly plan something, that's all. I don't have anything else, Council President. We'll skip public safety, public works, and I do want to add one thing for stormwater management. I know Amboy Avenue is delayed to be paved. Is our engineer here today or no? I'd like to get an answer from him when he's going to correct the stormwater management on Amboy Avenue. It's a long time to be paved, and I don't know how far. If we're going into September, I can live with that, but if we're going to go into the timeline where winter hits, we're not going to pave Amboy Avenue. And I know that we want to make a perfect storm and pave and fix this 15-year storm on Amboy Avenue that floods on, I think 1.5 blocks of the area, but I just would prefer, I don't think the residents prefer to have to wait that long. If it doesn't happen this year, we have to pave. And it was the obligation of the gas company to pave. And because of the manholes weren't corrected, we took an opportunity to do their work, a payment in lieu of us doing the work. But I didn't expect a delay. I would have just paved it and I would have stuck with the manholes. So I just, for the perfect good, it's challenging because that block is in terrible shape. At the same time, I also wrote under communications, I sent a communication to Pat Coyle about, I've had numerous complaints on the crosswalks are not painted. Although we know we're going to pave, and again, it's one good over a bad, but we can't wait till September to paint our crosswalks when they're faded. I mean, they're beyond. So we have our own striper, I believe now, and if we can get out there and make an obligation to do that, I think that would certainly be a start to the weight of what the other channels are. So if I can follow up next week, I'd appreciate that. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Move over to Councilman Patil.
Thank you, Council President. I'll run through the quick list and then I'll go to the resident issues. But the important part is the, through Council President, question to administration. Any update on the Grove Culvert next steps? Do we know? We did the traffic study that was shared with the residents. They came here, the feedback was provided. Was there anything moved on after that?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, the lighting was not an option, and I think that the residents felt that.
But can we?
Other than signage.
Yes.
So I will follow up on the signage portion of it.
Thank you. Next one is flooding project updates. Again, this is probably 9th year I'm bringing this to this council. We have various flooding areas. If you look at the Stephenville Parkway, Summer Street, JP Stevens, few areas in the south end. I think this year's budget, I was told that there will be some of these projects will be included. So if you can provide some sort of a report, what is covered in that. Glendale, do we know it's anything moving on Glendale?
No, nothing is happening.
Status quo, okay. Edison housing project, I have some few questions. Again, I think, we signed the agreement. What I found that this was a 99-year lease to a developer who is going to build or renovate that neighborhood. and Edison Housing Authority will be collecting the rent and paying to the developer. Is that correct, or do we know what exactly is happening here? Is this the project run by the government, or it is run by or executed by the developer? If you can please find out on
For the
that.
housing authority?
Yes, the one we're talking about,
That
the
you just
COA.
approved? Yeah.
Yes.
That's the housing authority. They're doing that. The funds are through HUD and federal funds and part of our, so.
Understood, but the funds are through HUD, that part I understand, but what I heard is we are leasing that, it's a land lease of 99 years. It's a township land given to a developer. So if you can find out, who is building this, like, who
I'm
is.
not aware of that, and a developer necessarily being tied to it.
Yeah, because I was in one of the Edison Housing meeting, because I'm on that board. Unfortunately, it is on Tuesdays, and some of my the commitment don't align with that. But one meeting, the developer, a couple of folks were there in the meeting, and they were explaining how this project will be executed. But if you can please find out what really happening there.
Your question is if there is a 99-year lease agreement with a developer?
Yes. Yep. Now I'll move on to the resident issues. There are various. There was an email from Mr. Pranav Gandhi, 880 Grove Avenue. He reported some potholes. I don't know if anyone from engineering responded back to him. Again, it's 880 Grove Avenue. The next one is the Grove Culvert and adjacent streets. I spoke about this last council meeting as well. Now, wherever those streets were dug up, those were patched, but now those patches are sinking, and it is a safety hazard. It's like a reverse speed hump. It's down now. So if you can please look at before some mishap happens in that neighborhood. 196 Loring Avenue, Aqib Mohammed, he reported trees were cut by his neighbor. And I think there were council president did forward that. I went to the property. I looked at his property line. I looked at his survey. Trees were indeed on his property, but the neighbor cut. He called police officer. He didn't get a good response. Then he called engineering. He didn't get any response. I spoke to zoning officer. He was supposed to go yesterday. I don't know what happened there, but if you can please follow up on that. So this is something now, it's the same case as what we spoke during the bamboo ordinance. A resident complained, and next day we went to issue the summons. Here, resident is complaining for more than a week now, and there is no action. So if you can please find out, the address is 196 Loring Avenue.
Loring?
Yes, Loring.
Councilman Patel, I believe that's the one that they responded back saying that they didn't have any proof as to whether or not, who cut it, and they, unfortunately, administration can't do anything, and it has to be like a legal.
Not necessary, and again, this can be debated here, but only the ask was, when somebody is cutting a tree and somebody is, if neighbor is complaining, somebody needs a permit to cut the tree, right?
Again, if we're talking about the same thing with regards to the tree, I don't know that the tree was fully cut other than perhaps some branches.
They were all, pretty much the stumps are taken out as of yesterday.
Okay, then they may have I saw pictures differently, so okay.
No,
so
that was the first day when he complained, but then next day he chopped all the way to the stump, and yesterday, pretty much, I think his neighbor used long weekend. He picked the time so that no one can complain in that time. Friday, he started cutting down up to the stumps, and I think on Monday, he was grinding the stumps. So it's like all holidays, right? So it's
understood. And again, just having dealt with this a little bit even today, it's a civil matter. We will certainly take a look at it if there were some permits that were required to be done.
right.
Now that it's brought to our attention, when things like that are brought to our attention, and that's why you get these calls that somebody came and gave them a warning or something to that effect, we don't have any choice, once we're told. So I'll take a look at that address if there was any sort of citation or.
Right. And I understand it could be, dispute between the neighbors, but no one can cut the tree without a permit. And ask is very simple. If someone is cutting the tree, we should issue him the summons, or we should issue him warning, but now it is a summons. Brower Avenue. I think there was a request for paving, signage, engineering did give this is my third time I'm bringing this. I think I was told that during the summertime, the paving will be done, but any update on the signage? There was supposed to be some signage on the speed limit, et cetera. If you can please find out on that.
I believe it was Broward Avenue. I saw something on that. I will
Perfect.
check.
Speed limit on Calvert Avenue. And this one asked by the resident during, I think it was 2 meetings ago, can we make the entire Grove Avenue 25 miles an hour right from Adam Street all the way to New Dover? And I think this was a consideration in the past. This council rejected it. Again, I'm bringing back and see if that makes a difference. It did improve some situation, but if you change, because right now speed limit in Metuchen is 25, enter in Edison is 35, 200 feet, again it becomes 25, cross 500 feet, it becomes again 35. So by the time someone notices that 25, it's already done, and we don't have enforcement. So ask to this council is if this body can reconsider making the entire strip, at least up to the Oak Tree Road, 25 miles an hour. So we are consistent right from Metuchen all the way to the Oak Tree Road. The next one is the resolution that we tabled, I believe it was last year, on the 65,000 township was supposed to improve the Woodrow Wilson Field. And this was, I think, I don't know, it was an agreement with the school board that was tabled. Do we know, are we moving forward? And this was tabled because of the construction on Woodrow Wilson, but now it is complete.
Okay, so I actually emailed my counterpart, the business administrator. I haven't heard back, and that's who I need to wait for to make sure that they have all of the checks done on the construction. So I don't know that in terms of where they are, if they closed out a contract, and I would think that that would be something that they'd want to do, and I haven't heard back otherwise, but I will follow up tomorrow.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And my last one is on the cannabis license. If someone can explain me the process, how it starts, because there were residents, there's a lot chatter in WhatsApp groups, social media about the cannabis, who received the cannabis license and how they were received. So, if, I don't know if attorney, if you can explain. If a resident, someone wants a cannabis license in Edison, what is the process?
Well, it's most importantly, it's an application to the state of New Jersey. The state is the licensing authority.
That's the final one. I'm talking about the township license.
Okay, so I'll start again. The process is by the state. In order to get a state license, you have to have a resolution of support from this governing body. And so I believe in the past there have been requests for resolutions of support from the governing body. Without that, you cannot go forward to the state for approval.
Correct.
And then ultimately, the Cannabis Regulatory Commission has to make a decision on whether or not you are awarded a license. So the step at the local level here is essential, but it's not the only component to get a license.
Understood. Local, I'm trying to understand the local process. Is that application goes to mayor's office? Mayor's recommends that? How? Because this council has no way to receive application. It has to come from someone.
No, I mean, you would need a recommendation from the administration for you to review, to ultimately decide, but ultimately it's your decision as a council whether or not you get a license or you get a resolution of support or not.
No, understood that. But in terms of the process, it has to be, it has to go to mayor's office first. Mayor has to bless it, and then it will be a resolution that will be put under administration and then comes for this council body to approve. I don't think it was under
I'm not
ever.
certain who gets it. I mean, I guess the only piece that I'm not aware of is who receives it in the administration before it gets to council. And maybe perhaps
If
that's
I
the
may
administration.
interject?
Yes,
Thank
please.
you.
We had a lot of this back and forth before, and the process that was established is that the clerk's office receives it. And
We don't have an application. I get an email.
right, she would get something.
I get an email,
Right.
and then I
Then she would forward that to us,
administration.
and then we would make the recommendation to the governing body. To date, we have not received an application.
So mayor's office does the due diligence in terms of waiting out who the person, background, everything, right?
No. It is just a request. That is what they have to do with the state. The state.
I'm
That's a
talking
state
about
application.
local process. I'm just trying to understand the local process. What's the flow here? So application comes from clerk's office, it goes to administration. From administration, someone is waiting out the application, right?
That is not what the administration does. That would be something that this governing body would do if that request is made.
Really?
As far as it's similar to a liquor license. making sure that all of background checks are done.
I don't think so, that's a process, but I want to clarify that.
The process that we have, based on the ordinance that's on the books, is that anyone that calls our office, I tell them to send me an email.
Correct.
I send them the letter that I was directed by the administration, which says that they have to get their license from the state first in order for us to even consider a resolution of support. That's the process. And then the administration would, recommend whether we're going to give the resolution of support. We have not issued any licenses, and I do not have an application from us.
We've gotten inquiries from time to
Yes,
time.
inquiries is what
But
they are.
there's never like a follow-through.
No, we did approve 2 licenses in Edison.
No, we approved resolutions of support.
All right,
Yeah.
yeah, we
That's
did.
it. There's 2 resolutions of support.
Let
They
me
don't have a
correct.
license
The
and a
resolution to
location.
support, but that resolution comes from the business administration, right?
Yes,
On agenda. So that means it is weighted out with the business administration.
with the administration, and then you passed resolutions of support.
That's the second part. The first part, important part, is it doesn't directly come to the council. No one is going to walk here and say, here is application, and can you
No,
put this up?
that's correct,
So it
no.
goes back to administration.
That's just how the ordinance is laid out.
No, I'm just
Yeah,
clarifying the process.
from a process standpoint,
So
right.
if you don't recommend anyone, it doesn't come here for this board.
Yeah, and it's because I didn't get anything, so.
No, we did approve 2, so 2 of them, you did receive those.
Right at the beginning, like
Yeah.
years ago. Yeah.
Correct. So I just want to recap the process. Somebody submit the application to you, you forward it to administration, you look at the application, if you feel it's a deemed fit, then you will create a resolution for this body to adopt.
So long as they follow the state requirements.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Just wanted to make sure that it is not directly to the council. Council is approving, it is going to the mayor's office first. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Council
Council Vice President, oh, yes, Councilman Coyle?
Can I add to the license discussion?
Sure.
One thing for sure, for the 2 people who did receive a resolution, there's only one area where you can have marijuana, cannabis, retail sales, or manufacturing, grow house. And that area is surrounded by housing, some of those areas, and the industrial areas don't allow it. So it's going to be a very tight opportunity for anybody to ever have a retail store in the zone that we created, because it's so restrictive. So I think for the 2 that were received, one gentleman was Deepak Balani, and he got that over 2 years ago, probably, 2+ years ago. And Deepak Balani's just sitting on it, and it's worth nothing because you can't find the location. That's restrictive. And then one other gentleman, I think a Dunkin' Donuts guy or something, got one, and he's been sitting on it for about 2 years as well. So to open up in Edison, when Metuchen has 2 and Highland Park has, doesn't Metuchen have 2 now? 2? Highland Park has 2, Metuchen has 1. There's not a market in Edison as well, so I don't see it coming in the short months, that's for sure. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Council Vice President?
Thank you, Council President. Can I just add another clarification to that previous
Of course.
conversation?
Of course.
Licenses, I just want to make sure we're clear. Licenses are only authorized by the state. We can only authorize a resolution of support, in which case the state requires a resolution of support before considering any type of license approval. To date, Edison has only done 2 resolutions of support. And if you want to check out if anything has been approved, if you go to the Cannabis Regulatory Commission website, they have a list of every level of cannabis type of retail, manufacturing, wholesale that has been approved to date. So if anyone wants to check that out, it's open online. But I just want to make sure that it's clear that this township does not actually approve the license itself. It has to be approved by the state, in which there are a numerous amounts of regulations that they have to go through. In regards to resident concerns and issues, I know it's been brought up before, Grandview and Amboy, particularly with speeding. This past weekend, we had a couple of car accidents that hit into electrical poles that cause power outages. I know that we are veering away from speed bumps and whatnot as a detractor to speeding, but I don't know any other alternative at this point to try to deter that type of speeding on both streets. So if we can try to look at alternatives to that, that would get it done, that would be great, but I'm not really seeing any other option at this moment. The councilwoman had brought up tractor trailers being parked on Reverend Boulevard or Carpenter Reverend Boulevard. I believe Winter Street Green has a no trucking sign on there. So if we can maybe include Carpenter Reverend Boulevard with that to alleviate that concern, that would be great. Ordinances for consideration. My colleague wanted me to make mention of I put together a draft for a sign ordinance, updating our sign ordinance since that has not been done since probably 1999. So I will send that to legal. It is not a simple lift. It's nothing that I'm expecting to be expedited, but I think long-term will have tremendous benefits for the municipality. And finally, I just want to make mention, normally I keep these things internal, but a conversation that I had with the administration or a request that I made to the administration, particularly regarding the budget. Last meeting, we had the recognition for EMS and particularly volunteer EMS. It's been mentioned that we have the capability of increasing the township's contributions to volunteer EMS from $105,000 to $125,000. So I've made that request to the administration if we can allocate additional funds to that contribution to the volunteer EMS, and I would recommend taking other expenses from the council's budget to help in that venture. So that would be it. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you very much.
Council President?
Yes.
Just to piggyback, in fact, I think Councilman Vattil does too. But I think the subject came up before about the EMS, and I believe that the entire body, and maybe I could be misquoting certain people, but I believe the entire body was supportive of us doing this. And your idea to take it from a line item that we already have established, I actually do like that. So I think it's a great idea for us to, consider. Thank you.
And if I misspoke, yes, it is something that I know that this body has mentioned before. It was something that in my review of the budget I overlooked. So I'm hoping to correct that in going forward.
Thank you, Council Vice President. Very good. I didn't have any discussion items, but I'm going to add on to, this is a point of light, that on Sunday, June 1st, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., Edison has the residential 2025 paper shredding, and the guidelines to that are no plastic bags, use a box, crate, or other sturdy container. They will return it to you. Limit of 5 file boxes or 100 pounds per car. Paper must be in a liftable, manageable container. If it's hard for you to bring it to your car, it is too heavy. No need to remove paper clips or staples. Don't bring plastic binders, sheet protectors, newspapers, magazines, hardcover books, junk mail, photos, x-rays, CDs, shredded paper, or garbage. Residential personal paper only, no business or home-based other paper. Loads containing unacceptable items will be rejected. And so that's Sunday, June 1st, 9 to noon. And with that, can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right, thank you. One more announcement is that our next council meeting is on an odd date. It's a combined meeting on Thursday, June 12th. June 12th at 6 p.m. Thank you.